Skinny girls weak, them hoes don't compare. Junk in the trunk looking like 2 pairs. Woo, got me hotter than a sauna. Ass so fat, make me wanna thank your mama. Ass so fat, I think I need a lap dance. Ass so fat, about to pop out of them pants.
Okay, you guys, so this is what we will be using to make our super bomb, soft, buttery, pillowy dinner rolls. Okay, so we're going to need some sugar right there, some all-purpose flour, some milk, a measuring bowl, some measuring cups, some sweet cream, salted butter, some salt. You can use whatever salt you want. This is just some regular pink Himalayan salt. It's not going to change the taste or anything to it, so you use whatever salt you have. I have 2 packs of active dry yeast. I get these from Aldi's. They're like less than $1 for 3 of them. So I have 2 packs of that. 2 eggs, some honey, some regular vegetable oil. And since I'm doing this super easy, of course, yes, I do have a KitchenAid stand mixer. I do understand that those are very expensive and everybody doesn't have those. So today we're going to be doing this by hand, just like your grandma did, okay? So I will be using a Dutch dough hook to make mine. You can get this from Amazon. They're very affordable. And I'm going to be using a bench scraper. It looks like it got some flour on. I'm going to, of course, wash these off again. But I'm going to be using a dough hook and a bench scraper. And right here, I have a tablespoon and a teaspoon. Okay? So this is all you need to make some bomb, buttery, soft dinner rolls. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to bloom this yeast. Okay, you guys, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to proof this yeast. I decided real quick last minute to break this recipe down into half, because you guys, I cook for like big groups of people, and sometimes I feel like the recipes that I make are like huge portions, right? So instead of 2 packs of yeast, we're gonna be using 1. Right here in this cup, I have a 1/4 cup of lukewarm water. You don't want your water to be too hot or it's going to kill your yeast. You want your water to be around 110 degrees, which is going to be like a nice warm bath kind of. You don't want your water scorching hot or it's going to kill your yeast. Okay, so I have the 1/4 cup of warm water there. There is my 1 packet of yeast. Next, you want to feed your yeast with some kind of sweetness, like some kind of sugar. So today I'm going to be using some honey. I'm going to be adding a tablespoon of honey. So now all you want to do is mix this up, and you just want to bloom your yeast. So essentially you're going to mix this and then you're going to let it sit for like 5 minutes or so, and then you're going to see like all these frothy bubbles in it. And then once you see those bubbles, your yeast is ready to be worked with. So I'm just mixing this and I'm making sure all of the honey comes off my spoon. See? So that's looking good. We're gonna go ahead and just set this aside and, let it do what it do. Make sure our yeast is alive, okay? So you guys, while the yeast is proofing, I'm gonna go ahead and take 1/2 cup of whole milk. And 4 tablespoons of this sweet cream salted butter. That's going to be 1/2 the stick. And I'm going to go ahead and microwave it and melt the butter into the milk. And then I'm just going to let it cool down a little bit before I introduce it to the yeast, because I don't want to kill it. Okay. So there you go. 1/2 stick of the butter into the milk. And then I'm going to go ahead and heat that up. Okay, you guys, so our yeast is proofing nicely. Look at it. You can see it's forming bubbles and stuff in it, which means it's alive. It's alive, you guys. So that's doing good. let's go ahead and start working on the dry ingredients. So to this bowl, I'm going to be adding 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So that's 1. 2, and since a little bit spilled over, I'm gonna go a little bit under half. This is a little bit less than half because a little bit spilled into the bowl when I was pouring it. So that's 2.5 cups of flour. Next, we're gonna be adding a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now I'm going to take my fork and just, mix that in. Right here we have our milk and melted butter, the warm milk and melted butter. We're gonna go ahead and take an egg, crack that into it. Let's mix it up. Okay, I'm gonna add that in. So as you can see, all the bubbles have formed in the yeast, so that means it's alive. We're gonna go ahead and add the yeast in. Now we're gonna take our good old dough hook and mix this up. So that looks good. What you want is a nice soft dough, and it's gonna be sticky, so we're gonna have to work with it and knead it, and once you knead it for a while, it's not gonna be sticky anymore. So you see how sticky it is? So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this counter off again before I turn my dough onto it. So hold on. Okay, so this is about the most tiresome process of making these. We're gonna go ahead and turn the dough onto a non-floured surface. So I'm gonna tell you, at first your dough is going to stick, but as we work the gluten and the dough, the protein, it's not gonna be sticky anymore. Okay, so here is our dough, and it's sticky, y'all. Once we're done kneading it, it's gonna turn from being sticky to elastic. So what you wanna do is just knead it. You want to just work with it, move it, touch it. You're going to be doing this for like 5 minutes or so. It's going to take some time, but it's worth it. Just first, you want to do is you want to just keep turning it. Then once you're able to flip it and fold it into itself, then you'll work it that way. So you guys, I'm still working on my dough. As you can see, now I'm working with my bench scraper, and you can see the dough is getting less sticky. You just have to work with it. Okay, you guys, so our dough is practically done. I did have to, I needed this for about 5 minutes and my dough was still a little sticky. So I added in 2 tablespoons of flour. But our dough is good. You see how nice and elastic it is? See that? This is what you want. Now what I'm going to do is, I have my bowl here. I'm going to put a tiny bit of oil. Like a tiny bit. I'm going to form this dough into a ball. Then I'm going to put it in this bowl. cover it with a towel and let it rise for an hour. So, got that into the bowl. Okay, you guys, so our dough has doubled in size. I moved it a little bit because I was just checking it. So the dough has doubled. What I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to take that other half of butter and put it here in this bowl for just to spread on top once the rolls are done. And then I'm going to take this wrapper that still has butter on it, and I'm going to go ahead and grease our baking dish with the butter that's left on the wrapper. And just grease the baking dish and put it to the side. So, that looks good. See that? So I just clean my counters again. A lot of cleaning when you're working with granite. My whole kitchen is granite, so pretty much my whole kitchen is a workspace. So I just wiped it down. I'm just gonna, you know, take any water off with a paper towel. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some bench flour down. Not a lot, because you don't want too much flour. It might change the integrity of your dough. So that's actually a little bit too much. Let me take some out. This right here is a good amount. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my dough out. Turn my dough out. Okay, so we rolled our dough out the bowl. Here it is. Nice, good, sturdy dough. Not too much flour. Look at our dough. See? Nice, soft dough. It's very soft. See? I'll move some of this flour to the side. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll the dough into kind of like a log. This amount of dough should make, I'd say, about 15 rolls. This dough is so soft. Alright. So. Alright. Take my bench cutter, my bench scraper. Cut this dough in half. Cut it in half again. Then I'm going to cut each one of these balls in half. My camera died on me, y'all, so bear with me. And then cut these in half again. Okay, so we have our 15 balls of dough. What you want to do is take your dough and just roll it on a flat surface until you have a nice round ball. So you want a nice round smooth ball. So you just roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. Another thing you can do is you can flatten it and then tuck the ends in like that. Tuck the ends into itself, flip it, and then roll it. You just want a nice smooth top ball. Yeah. And then once you get your smooth ball, you're just gonna put it into the baking dish, okay? Okay, so here are our 15 dinner rolls in our greased baking dish. Now we're going to let these sit and rise for like 40 minutes. I know it's like a lot of, well, it's an easy recipe, but it takes a little bit of time, but believe me, it's definitely worth it. So we're gonna go ahead and just let these rise again. Okay, you guys, so these have risen beautifully. Look at them. They have practically doubled in size. It smells so good. It smells like bread already in here. It's crazy. Okay, you guys, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a quick egg wash to brush on top of the rolls. I have the other egg. And then I'm gonna put like a little splash of milk, like half a capful, just that much. Mix it up. Here's our egg wash. Just gonna dip it in and brush the tops. This is gonna give it that nice shiny coating at the top. So here are our dinner rolls with the egg wash. Next, what we're gonna do is we're going to bake these in the oven, uncovered at 375 degrees for about 20 minutes. Okay, you guys, so I just took the rolls out the oven and look at these things. Oh my gosh, they look so good. Okay, so we have our hot, beautiful rolls right here, y'all. I'm so proud of myself. I've been working on this recipe for a while, and I'm pleased with how they came out. They look so good and so soft. So I went and I melted the other half a stick of butter. To that, I'm going to add a tablespoon of this real clover honey. Y'all see it? And then we're going to slather the top, honey. Alright, so that's about a tablespoon. I'm psyched. These came out great, if I do say so myself. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So here is our nice, beautiful honey butter. Look at that.
Hey, no, no, no. Hey, no, no, no. Hey, no, no, no. Hey, hey, no. Hey, no, no, no. Hey.
You guys, look, I'm still putting butter on here. I don't know why, but it's still some left. Y'all, these rolls came out so beautifully, and they're hot. They're still so hot. Look, even though I just showed y'all a close-up, look at these rolls. Beautiful. You see the underside? Beautiful. Now, of course, we have to crack into them and see what the texture is looking like. They are super hot. Oh, they release good from the pan. Look under. Look at that. Beautiful. So, of course, we have to see what the consistency of the bread is looking like. So, ooh, these are hot, though. Ooh, oh, y'all, look at that. Look at that. We did it. Look. Ooh. Look at that. Perfect texture. These are beautiful. You guys, these are beautiful. You have to make these. Ooh, they're so hot. Do you see that steam? Wow.
Don't slip up or get caught.
Why not, man?
I'm coming for